on. Hungry. Got to get away from...
The cub seems anxious to leave, but afraid to defy the goblins.
Hi, it's All925 and welcome to Nipsy Does Honor Mode episode 21. And we're at the Goblin Camp, finally. So, we're doing the Goblin Camp in completely the wrong order by going through all the Underdark, doing the Forge and that. Now coming back up here, this bit's really easy. But we're still going to go through all the motions, release the prisoners, do as much as we can, save as many people as possible. Grab the permanent buffs that we can get. The permanent buff is really worth doing. Just take your top layer of clothing off and leave her in her underwear, and you get a bonus on your rolls, which is kind of annoying, but it works. So I save and throw, and it just means you automatically pass this, and he gets very overexcited, and we get a permanent buff. Now, like I say, doing things in the completely wrong order means you lose track of things, and one of the things I did that was a mistake earlier was I went to the exterior of the Goblin Camp the same day as I went to the Owlbear Cave and didn't fight the mother, which meant the cub was still with the owlbear, and I met the chicken instead. So when the goblins killed the owlbear later, I was worried I'd lost the cub forever. So I was very glad to see the cub when we arrived. But yeah, it is kind of odd doing things in this sequence, doing things in this order. You really do appreciate how complex a game they created. The fact that you can do the entirety of the Underdark, you can do so much before you have to go inside the Goblin Camp. People panic about this and rush through it because they're worried that the grove will get closed, but seriously, you can really dick about on this stuff. Once I always like to convince the druids to stop the ritual to close the grove, and then that's it. You can really take your time and do what you want, which is a good bit of fun. And like I say, it's a nice little permanent buff, this one you get. It's not amazing, but it's a decent little permanent buff. So we're going to buff, it's time to get Volo out. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to take his magic eye or not, because it's kind of gross. And I'm not massively keen on it. Probably will, but we'll have to see. And so rescue Volo, kill the... in this episode I'm going to kill 2 of the 3 leaders at the Goblin Camp. I don't tend to use the illithid powers that much, even though there's no negatives for doing it. I don't feel like using illithid powers and having brainworms in my head. I just played through an entire campaign against illithids, so having done that, and having played the Night Below campaign when I was younger, I really don't feel like having brainworms inside my head, so I don't tend to use any of the illithid powers. I use them as little as possible. I should really just allow myself to get fueled up, because there is no negative in this game, which is one of the weird things, because it's seen in storyline wise as kind of like a big negative, but then it's not really seen or doesn't really respond as a big negative. I do decide to take the mark because, why not? It does help with a couple of magic items. It gives them secondary effects, and and then I kill her in a roundabout way. I get the lady from hell to come up and kill her, Raphael's assistant. Just doing it that way, it's a little odd. If you don't know this method, you basically have to let her drug you, and then let her take you prisoner, and then act all helpless instead of trying to escape, and then you'll get helped out by hell and released. So it's a bit weird because it's playing possum, and kind of goes against the way I normally play my characters, but it's just I'm aware of this as an option, and it's it triggers a fairly funny cutscene, and it just it is the easiest and least troublesome way to kill her, because you kill her deep down in her lair, not up here, so no chance of anyone seeing you do it or finding the body. So there is handiness to it. But like I said, it's just a bit weird storyline wise. because you have to sit here in chains with her gloating over you to actually do it this way. And yeah, it's an odd way of achieving the goal, but you know, I just kind of decided to do it this way, and it, like I say, it's a very non-hassly way of killing her, which when you do an on mode playthrough, it means you don't running into any risk of anyone finding the body and triggering the fights before you want them to trigger them. And like I say, it gets this little cutscene, and if you haven't seen it before, this is you know, it's a weird way, because she's expecting you to turn into a lithid you haven't, and then someone from hell turns up and just cuts her throat and lets you out. It's kind of handy having allies like that, yeah, so there we go. Kind of useful ally to have, one that can teleport in, kill someone and teleport you out. But yeah, then she unlocks you, and then you go back upstairs and the other guys are just waiting for you. You've been down here for like 2 days and they're still stood outside her room, like totally oblivious. So it's a bit weird, but it's a fun way of meeting her earlier, and a fun way of you know, getting stuff done. And like I say, nobody's going to find the body down here. You also get to search her rooms for free. She even goes to the trouble of killing the ogre bodyguard for you, which is, you know, another creature dead that you don't have to worry about. And given the way I've gone around doing everything out of order, you know, it just makes things easier. Now, I've sped up the last 2 fights in this video. Now, before triggering this cutscene, I'd moved everyone else upstairs. I'm the only one downstairs, so once the fight triggers, it's going to be all of the allies I've got on the high ground. That's pretty much the best thing to do in this scenario. One of the great things about playing as a bard is you have those great battlefield control spells. Plus you have the abilities to be able to sort of win mental battles like this, but then you're fighting mentally against the barbarian, which is kind of like, you know, having a battle of wills with a PE teacher. It's never going to be difficult. As to the way this goes in terms of storyline, you know, yeah, I just kick off the fight basically, and yeah, it's you know, just tell him he can do his own dirty work, and then you know, he then gets angry, and what I will do now is do what bards do best. Stick a massive hypnotic pattern in the middle of the center of the room, the incapacitating almost, well, you know, yeah, a lot of the combatants. Not all, you won't get all of them, that's not the way it goes. And then I'll Misty step up to the high ground a little bit, and there we go. And as you can see, my friends are all ready to kick off. He's coming up, but at the top of the stairs he's going to meet someone who's going to smash him. I can't believe he missed me, to be honest, but luckily I've got a shield. And yeah, but you know, 4 out of 5 goblins are taken out from the fight, which is handy. And now I wasn't gonna wait to heal everyone before I did this, but I thought I might as well bless. And then yeah, she's done. And then blind Ragslin, and means everyone gets free advantage on him. And yeah, easy enough to separate off and beat up. Now basically my plan was knock him down, then use the Zell to shoot a lot of arrows around, because I don't know why I forget, but she's got Hunter's Marks, all these specialist arrows to use. I should have shot that brazier down above their heads, but I didn't even think to do that. And also, I should have put Hunter's Mark on before I did that bit, because yeah, she's got that for a reason, so you know, might as well use it. These are all little bonus bits of damage that she can do, and I keep forgetting to do them, but the great thing is, like, it just adds up with all the little bits of damage that she does. She's got the thing that if you heal her, she starts doing poison damage. She's got the caustic damage, she does a bit of thunder damage, she does a bit of everything. Poor old Karlach. She's struggling with having problems with Bane, but you know, she's still able to pommel somebody to absolutely batter them, the amount of damage she does. So that's fine. And as me, I still haven't actually done the singing sword, so that's even more damage. And let's daze him. One more hit and he's dead. And then, you know, get into position to start affecting some of the goblins. Give Flizelle even more bonus damage against them when she shoots them with a bow. I'm not too worried if Karlach takes a hit because he's not really going to do anything to her. Yeah, I am still going to use kind words to get out of big hits. Even though I am massively over leveled now for this section, that is the advantage of doing the Underdark. First is you come up here and now you can just stomp through all of this bit. It's hilarious. I'm barely using any of the powerful spells I've got. And I've got Spirit Guardians, for God's sake. And, you know, I really don't need anything at this point. I have a look around and see what's useful, but to be honest, I might as well just blast him. And, yeah, all in all, it's pretty handy. The way I've done it, the way I've gone around this, means that my characters are, you know, now able to handle anything in this act. There's nothing that would be a bother to them at all. It is hilarious how powerful they are compared to the rest of the stuff in this, and yet no matter what I do, I'm trying to be quite good and not, you know, pick too many fights at once. But as usual with Goblin Camp, amazingly, someone always sees what you're killing and some more stuff pours in and gets involved. But there's Ragslin down, and yeah, now I can start throwing stuff with Karlach, which she does a ton of damage when she throws stuff, as you can see. And yeah, the whole hypnosis thing just takes stuff out for such a long period of time. It's kind of handy. And I really need to start throwing some of the bombs around because I haven't really used enough of them. But yeah, it's quite. It is very easy now, these bits, but that's the joy of doing the other bits early. And I needed to remember to unlink my attacks. But you know, minor inconvenience, and it was nice to see the bad guys do it as badly as me, putting the buff spell on after you've done the attack. That's exactly what I did earlier with forgetting to put Hunter's Mark on something before shooting. But yeah, all in all, this is just a really easy time of it, and yeah, Radiating Orbs. Being an old school D&D player back in the day, I mean, cantrips just amaze me. What do you mean you can freely cast spells and they do that much damage? And that's a free spell? You don't use a spell slot for that? And you're doing like multiple D8s? What's going on? I mean, back in the day when I first started playing D&D, if you were a wizard, you cast your one spell of the day and then you hid. Usually you're at the back of the party for the rest of the opening encounter. In fact, I used to quite often take Gnome Illusionist because you got a passive +4 on hide attempts as a gnome, so it was always handy to cast you one spell and then go, right, this boys, I'm hiding for the rest of this dungeon. I've fired my one magic missile. What do you want me to do? I ain't got nothing else. But now you have offensive cantrips. They're just way too powerful. And here I thought the fight was over, but it's drawn in two other characters. So yeah, just to wait for them to get in here so we can kill them. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the first half of the Goblin Camp. I do something interesting with the external parts of the Goblin Camp to come, but basically it's just characters that are way too high level stomping on a bunch of goblins, which is kind of mean, but kind of funny, because yeah, if you underestimate, D&D goblins are nasty. What with traps, sneak attack, they're little horrors. Kobolds and goblins are often used as disposable monsters, but a really good DM will really put you in some challenging encounters with the right traps, the right ambushes, the right setups, goblins and kobolds can do serious amounts of damage. But anyway, I'll leave it there as you just watch these last goblins get just basically stomped on, and I'll say that's all. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode where I do the other half of the internal of this place, and then we'll do the courtyard bit as well. Okay, and that's all. Thank you very much for watching.